In any story, understanding the characters involved is essential. In a true crime saga, it's even more critical. We're not just dealing with fictional characters, but real people, with real lives, dreams, aspirations, and complexities. Today, in the second installment of Echoes of Innocence, Reassessing the Pedro Bravo case, we delve deeper into the profiles of the two key individuals around whom this case revolves, Pedro Bravo and Christian Aguilar. These are not mere names or faces in news articles. They were two young men on the precipice of their futures, entwined by fate in a story that captured the attention of millions. But to understand the intricacies of this case, we first need to understand them, as individuals, as friends, and as central figures in a narrative that has been told and retold multiple times. Let's take a step back and explore their histories, their relationship, and the days leading up to the pivotal events of September 20th, 2012. Pedro Bravo's journey began thousands of miles away from the United States, in the bustling city of Quito, Ecuador. The only child of a Cuban father and an Ecuadorian mother, Pedro's life was imbued with a rich blend of cultures while growing up in the Andean mountains. The Bravo family, Pedro Bravo Sr. and Azucena Duque, like many immigrants, experienced the challenges and sacrifices that come with relocating to a new country. They made their home in Miami, Florida, navigating the complexities of life in a new land. Pedro attended Doral Academy for his middle and high school years, where he stood out as a bright student. His intellectual pursuits were complemented by his graduation from Miami-Dade College with an associate degree, which he achieved simultaneously with his high school diploma. But Pedro was not just about books. A lover of animals and the outdoors, Pedro's weekends often found him wandering the lush wilderness of the Everglades or engaging in exciting airsoft matches with friends in the woods. He was known for his artistic talent, kindness, and a sense of humor that endeared him to those around him. Pedro's sweet nature was also evident in his commitment to community service. He volunteered for school initiatives like Autism Speaks and Heart Walk, participated in local community events, charities, and even donated his time to the Miami-Dade Animal Shelter. Despite his affable exterior, Pedro grappled with inner demons. His adolescent years were marked by depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. He sought solace in the solitude of night drives, a refuge from his overactive mind and overwhelming sense of isolation. In late 2009, Pedro entered into a relationship with Erica Freeman. Their teenage romance was a poignant part of Pedro's life. However, their separation in early 2012 left Pedro nursing the wounds of a childhood relationship. With the departure of his friends and the constant reminders of them in the same city, Pedro decided to seek a fresh start. He relocated to Gainesville in hopes of escaping the specters of his past, finding inner peace and possibly to rekindle his relationship with Erica. Born to Carlos and Claudia Aguilar, the side of Christian's story begins with the hopes and dreams of two immigrants from Colombia. Their journey to Miami mirrored that of many who seek a better life in the United States, much the same as Pedro's own family. Christian, along with his younger brother Alex, grew up absorbing the blend of cultures and values that come with immigrant life. The Aguilar family bond was strong, and Miami became their cherished home. Christian's educational journey began at Doral Academy, the same as Pedro's. This is where their paths first crossed, and a deep friendship blossomed. Both shared for art, and Christian, much like Pedro, was known for his sketches and drawings along with his sense of humor. Beyond the classroom, Christian was vivacious, enjoying outings with friends, participating in community events, and volunteering alongside Pedro for various charities. Those around him remember him for his kind, funny, and sweet nature. However, behind his jovial demeanor lay battles with anxiety and depression. Christian, too, had moments when he grappled with suicidal thoughts, a hidden struggle that he shared with Pedro. In late 2010, Christian's life saw another chapter with Elisa Ortiz, a close friend turned girlfriend. Their relationship spanned a significant portion of their high school days, but concluded in 2012 as they prepared for the next steps in their lives. Academically driven, Christian accomplished an impressive feat. Alongside his high school graduation later on, he also simultaneously obtained an associate's degree from Miami-Dade College. Post-high school, Christian set his sights on Gainesville. Drawn by the allure of academic pursuits at the prestigious University of Florida, he embarked on a new chapter in 2012. Pedro Bravo and Christian Aguilar started as shy acquaintances, but their shared classes and mutual love for art, music and video games quickly cemented their friendship. However, it was their shared struggle with mental health that deepened their bond. Christian was a cutter, his sensitive soul often overwhelmed by the world around him. Pedro, on the other hand, grappled with overthinking and suicidal thoughts, his mind a relentless torrent of worry and desolation. Perhaps it was the mounting pressures young men their age faced, an underlying expectation to excel, or the cultural climate that conditioned them to mask their pain. Regardless, they found solace in each other, offering advice, comfort, and an understanding ear. Their friendship group expanded to include Erica Freeman, Alyssa Ortiz, and Nadia Echegoyen. This close-knit group weathered high school together. Yet, as is often the case with adolescent friendships, their paths diverged upon graduation. Alyssa ventured to Tallahassee for school. Christian and Erica found their way to Gainesville. Nadia remained in Miami, and Pedro, still uncertain about his future, contemplated his next step. During this period of change, Christian and Erica, who had grown close over the years, began dating. This development was unknown to Pedro and their friends. Distance and new responsibilities gradually caused the once tight-knit group to drift apart. Pedro Bravo's move to Gainesville was a bid to escape the constant reminders of his past and a chance to stand on his own 2 feet for the first time. Feeling isolated and stuck in his life in Miami, he craved a fresh start. Part of his motivation was a hope to rekindle his relationship with Erica. However, Gainesville was new and unfamiliar, and Pedro found himself on his own in a city far from home. Pedro chose to confide in only a few friends about his move, Rosa Felibert and Javiera Ramirez. As he tried to acclimate to this new environment, he faced the overwhelming task of establishing a life in a place that was vastly different from everything he knew. But no matter where he went, Pedro couldn't escape himself. His depression and suicidal thoughts followed him to Gainesville. His struggle with mental health persisted, casting a long, inescapable shadow over his new life. In Gainesville, Pedro enrolled at Santa Fe College, juggling between his studies and his artistic endeavors. Pedro's love for art persisted, and he spent his free time creating. He drew, painted, and even indulged in graffiti art. Despite his creative outlet and attempts at socializing, his anxiety refused to abate. Pedro, although making efforts to engage with his friends and new environment, often felt a sense of isolation. This feeling was compounded by the knowledge that his ex-girlfriend Erica was now dating his good friend Christian. His friend Alyssa Ortiz, who had access to Christian's social media accounts, revealed the relationship between Christian and Erica to him. It was a private conversation, but the impact it had on Pedro was evident. With this new knowledge, Pedro felt even more alone, adrift and uncertain of his future. He had moved to Gainesville hoping for a fresh start, but found himself entangled in the emotional threads of his past. Following the tumultuous revelations, Erica attempted to get in touch with Pedro, although her attempts initially remained unanswered. Then, during an ordinary day out with friends Rosa and Javiera, fate had Pedro cross paths with Erica once more. The setting was the graffiti wall on Radio Road in Gainesville, a vivid backdrop to the unfolding drama. Erica, possibly sensing the rumors that had been circulating, decided to set the record straight. She assured Pedro that her relationship with Christian was merely platonic, nothing more than a social friendship. Given their history, the trust Pedro had in Erica was profound. He chose to believe her words. Their shared moments, memories, and the bond they once had made it difficult for him to question her truth. However, a twist awaited. During the trial, Erica took the stand and confessed that she had been untruthful to Pedro during their meeting. She had deliberately lied to him. The revelation added another layer of complexity to an already intricate tale. As the narrative threads became more tangled, the emotional turmoil Pedro experienced intensified, setting the stage for the subsequent events that would change the lives of all involved. Pedro was caught in an emotional tempest. His once promising path in Gainesville became a storm of melancholy. With each day, his battle with depression and anxiety intensified, casting a shadow over his academic pursuits and social interactions. He found solace in art. Immersing himself into his graffiti and drawings, he rekindled the fire he had kindled back in Miami. This passion and vision for art were also noticed and discussed with his art teacher, Kevin Cabral, from Doral Academy. Something they discussed he would take from Miami to Gainesville. Yet outside of his art, Pedro often felt empty. He tried to fit in, went out with friends, but that persistent hollowness lingered. A minor car mishap only added to his woes, causing damage to his already worn-out vehicle. Going downhill recklessly to show off for his friends, he went over a curb and off the pavement onto marshy ground, managing to pull the vehicle out, but leaving with damage in the interior. A cracked window, a missing bumper, a blown-out tyre, and a bruised ego. All in the company of Rosa Felibert, Javiera Ramirez, and Nick Goltz. It was becoming evident. Pedro needed someone to talk to, a confidant. The weight of his depression, combined with suicidal thoughts, demanded someone who could understand. Christian was that someone. They had shared vulnerable moments in the past, understanding each other's mental battles, the only person he had been able to confide in. But the circumstances, especially regarding Erica, had made their communication strained and sporadic. Fear of rejection held Pedro back, but he knew he had to reach out, trying indirectly at first. He attempted to make contact with Christian, even arranging a face-to-face meet-up through mutual acquaintances, a good friend Rosa helping make it possible, and then allowing Pedro to speak to him directly. This wasn't a covert operation. People knew of their plans to meet. Pedro wasn't trying to hide anything, and neither would a reasonable person believe this meeting would be kept secret. Only the conversation they had that day. His anxiety and vulnerability simply made the direct approach seem too daunting. On September 20th, their paths finally crossed again. Pedro and Christian met at a bustling campus hub in the heart of Gainesville. The air was filled with familiarity and shared memories as they caught up over food. Christian, a fan of Kanye West, expressed his desire to buy the artist's new CD, which had just hit the shelves. Pedro was happy to accompany him. Their shared camaraderie spilled into the store as they roamed the aisles, and Christian made his purchase. They spent the day driving around Gainesville, reminiscing about old times, their laughter and banter a welcome respite from the silence Pedro had been wrestling with. In the spontaneity of the moment, they even picked up a hitchhiker, a testament to the day's carefree spirit. As dusk descended, they decided to pull over to park and talk about what was going on, the nearest spot being outside a bustling Walmart on 13th Street. They talked and they argued, but from here the story begins. In 2012, Pedro Bravo and Christian Aguilar were two young individuals filled with hopes, dreams and potential. Both aged 18, they were embarking on the journey of college life, eager to explore the world beyond their high school days. Pedro and Christian's friendship spanned nearly half a decade. They had shared laughter, tears, and a deep bond that comes from growing up together, sharing classes, and supporting each other through life's challenges. They weren't just acquaintances, they were best friends, part of a close circle that extended beyond themselves, with their girlfriends even forming friendships with one another. Throughout their friendship, they confided in one another about the battles they faced within their own minds. Anxiety, depression and thoughts of suicide were shared openly, a testament to the trust and understanding they had. Amidst the complexities of the case and the tragedy that would unfold, it is crucial to remember one simple truth. They were people. They were sons, friends, and part of loving families who had hoped for bright futures. They were individuals whose lives were intertwined in a unique and intricate way. In our pursuit of truth and understanding, it's imperative to remember that beneath the headlines and the complexities of the case, there are real people with real stories. We are reminded of the profound tragedy that unfolded in 2012. These were two young men with promising futures, filled with potential and surrounded by families who loved them dearly. They both faced internal struggles. navigating the pressures of young adulthood and the quest for success in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelmingly isolated, despite the technological connections we have at our fingertips. Their lives were changed irrevocably, leaving both families shattered by an unimaginable loss, a tragedy that transcends sides and defies easy conclusions. It is essential to remember that we cannot fully grasp the depths of what transpired on that tragic day. To judge or claim certainty without understanding the complexities surrounding their lives is to do a disservice to their memory. As we continue our journey through this heart-wrenching case, let us honor their memory by seeking the truth without imposing premature judgments on the lives they led, shedding light on the innocence of one party without doing a disservice to the other. These were two best friends, part of a close-knit circle of loved ones, whose lives were forever intertwined. Amidst the complexities, we shall remember the essence of their humanity, the bonds they formed, and the love they shared with those closest to them. As we delve deeper into the events leading up to that fateful day, join us in our endeavor to uncover the truth and do justice to the lives of these two young men.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be alerted when the next episode of Echoes of Innocence, Reassessing the Pedro Bravo case is released.